فخامة السيد الرئيس
Your Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Your Excellency Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, esteemed presence, may you have a blessed day. From here, we greet you from the heart of the Dhabaa nuclear plant, the first Egyptian nuclear plant for peaceful uses in accordance with the highest standards of nuclear safety. A new day witnessing the cooperation march between two countries tied and deeply rooted in joint action for 8 decades of fruitful cooperation and deep understanding between both countries. And today, and thanks to the strategic partnership rooted between the Arab Republic of Egypt and the Russian Federation in several projects, most prominent of which the Dhabaa nuclear project, we witnessed a new chapter in the record of achieving the Egyptian dream of having a nuclear plant, as the reactor pressure vessel will be installed for the first nuclear unit as the basic landmark in this project, which enjoys a special nature. It is one of the long-term equipment and the containing vessel of the nuclear fuel. This project is not just a scientific or engineering landmark, but it's a symbol of a new vision embodying the pillars of the new republic and opening promising horizons for a future based on science, technology, and sustainable development, and stemming from an idea to an achievement and from a dream to a truth. Now we will see a documentary that symbolizing the Egyptian dream of building the Dhabaa reactor.
أصبح تأمين مصادر طاقة مستدامة ونظيفة وبتكلفة تنافسية ضرورة استراتيجية. وهنا محطة الضبعة النووية. بالعزيمة نصنع المستحيل. تعد محطة الضبعة النووية من أضخم مشاريع إنتاج الطاقة الكهربائية في القارة الإفريقية.
حلم كان طويل قوي لمصر نووي سلمي لإنتاج الطاقة الكهربائية.
في عام 1981 تم تخصيص موقع الضبعة لإنشاء أول محطة لتوليد الكهرباء من الطاقة النووية. وبعد ثورة 30 من يونيو فخامة الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي الباعث الحقيقي للمشروع النووي المصري. ففي عام 2015 تم توقيع الاتفاقية الحكومية بين مصر وروسيا. وخلال زيارة الرئيس الروسي فلاديمير بوتين لمصر في عام 2017 تم توقيع بروتوكول بدء التنفيذ الفعلي لمشروع محطة الضبعة النووية. وبدأت أولى مراحل تنفيذ المشروع.
In 2017 with the first concrete unit of the first unit, and then followed by the second concrete establishment, and then the third nuclear unit as the components of the nuclear reactor. We witnessed the first long-term equipment and installation. It is my pleasure and I am fully proud to share this historic moment with you in the events of the first concrete unit for the nuclear reactor. Your Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi and President Vladimir Putin giving the start to. This consists of 4 nuclear units with 4,800 mega of power. The plant also features the DVR 1200 with a Russian design, achieving all the safety standards.
الثقة اللي موجودة بين
the mutual confidence between Rosatom and the NPPA helped to carry out this achievement as planned. And with the full installation of the reactor, the Dhabaa has recorded a defining moment as this plant now is carrying advanced technologies through a comprehensive program with the participation of Egyptian companies in scientific research and economic diversification, and contributing to qualifying Egyptian cadres. And with the conclusion of this project, we will have 35,000 megawatts, adding to the Egypt Vision 2030, the Dhabaa nuclear reactor. With determination, we achieved the impossible. I would also like to extend my gratitude to all the Russian and Egyptian participation for the active and attentive work. I would like to express my gratitude and thanks to all workers from Atoms Tower Export, the general contractor of Russia to the project, and the NPPA for electricity generation. With these features and scenes from the history of peaceful nuclear cooperation, we call Dr. Alexei Legachev, the Director General of Rosatom, to deliver his speech. Your Excellency, Mr. President Vladimir Putin, Mr. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, ladies and gentlemen, may peace be upon you. A few weeks before the end of last September, we have participated with the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy, Dr. Mahmoud, in the celebration of installing a piece of equipment in the nuclear reactor from Petersburg in the Dhabaa plant. And today we are witnessing one of the most important construction events in the Arab Republic of Egypt, which is installing the same vessel, the reactor pressure vessel, in the first nuclear unit, and it is one of the core components to the nuclear reactor, which ensures operation under high pressures and high temperatures. It is a component of reliability, as it is a landmark and a milestone in completing the construction of the nuclear reactor. It is the heart of the reactor from which all the technical operations stem. I am pleased to celebrate this ceremony, which is one of the milestones of establishing the 3+ reactor in the African continent. Allow me to give you a brief on the construction status and the 4 units which are progressing in accordance with the timeline. We have 222 construction sites at the moment, and for the first unit we are building the nuclear island and the turbines island, and then the first and second units, the concrete is already completed, and the first piece is successfully installed, and therefore we have more than 25 Egyptian workers now working on site, and we have continued working alongside with the Egyptian engineers, and now we have 1,700 applicants who are now being trained, and we have already trained 600 of the personnel, and with the support of the NPPA we have organized in the Library of Alexandria and in the Youth Green Technologies Forum, and through our work with the Egyptian companies we have seen the attention given to the nuclear plant in the Arab Republic of Egypt, and we are working to make it as a driver of economic development in Egypt, and undoubtedly establishing a nuclear plant in this country is highly important, and we give a lot of attention to this project. I would like to thank Mr. Grassi and the Nuclear Agency for the constructive dialogue. And undoubtedly establishing this plant in Egypt would not have happened except with the political will from both the leadership. So thank you for Mr. Vladimir Putin and Mr. Abdel Fattah Sisi for the continuous follow-up and the continuous support. And I would also like to use this opportunity to extend my sincere congratulations to His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi for his birthday, wishing you success in serving the Egyptian people. And I wish you a long, healthy life and success. Thank you, Mr. Alexei Lekhatchov, the Director General of Ras Adam. And now we will listen to His Excellency Mahmoud Asmat, the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most gracious, Your Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi, President of the state, Mr. Vladimir Putin, head of the Russian Federation, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to stand before you today, welcoming you from the nuclear reactor in Dhabaa, witnessing the RPV installation and signing the nuclear fuel procurement order and having the first nuclear power plant to produce electricity. Allow me, Mr. President Abdel Fattah Sisi, to carry you the gratitude of generations who have always dreamt of the nuclear project, and the gratitude of generations who have always wished and hoped for this project. Thank you for granting this generation these historic moments so that our dream have come true and the wish is now a reality. The project under construction is the largest in the world when it comes to carrying out 4 nuclear units at the same time to generate this volume of electricity. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, a long march of joint action and a strategic partnership between Russia and Egypt, common understanding and mutual trust, which has resulted in a lot of ongoing projects and supported the accelerated march of the Dhabaa nuclear plant. The RPV is one of the core components of the nuclear reactor, which contains the nuclear fuel. It was preceded by a series of achievements in the 4 nuclear units, which is a true indicator to the coordination extent between the partner of the success and from both parties, Egypt and Russia. What are we witnessing today from the start of the nuclear reactor in Dhabaa is the continuous work and support and the day and night tireless workers labor. Ladies and gentlemen, what is Egypt witnessing at the moment is revival of history and a civilization to build a new future that is suitable to the Egyptian civilization in accordance with the most modern technologies and scientific research stemming from a true vision and a free will from a leader who believed in his people, and that's why his people believe in him. Thank you, Your Excellency President. Thank you so much and happy birthday, Your Excellency. Thank you, His Excellency the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy. And now we will see a recorded speech by Mr. Rafael Grossi, the Director General of the International Agency for Nuclear Energy.
Prime Minister President Putin.
Your Excellency, Mr. President Abdel Fattah Sisi, Mr. Vladimir Putin, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, esteemed presence, I am honored to participate with you today in the fifth annual Nuclear Energy Day in Egypt. We are celebrating the installation of the reactor pressure vessel in the Dhabaa nuclear power plant, and which is a landmark achievement in the history of one of the most Egyptian national projects, the largest nuclear project worldwide at the moment. Your investment in nuclear power is a huge turning point for Egypt and the region, which will ensure low-emission electricity for long decades and will support your national goals and will diversify the sources of electricity. Investing in nuclear power requires more than iron and steel and concrete. What you have reached today is the fruit of long years of preparatory work among your technical institutions and the regulatory entities, which require, as operating such a program requires a lot of work. As we have worked with Egypt as the agency of nuclear power, I have visited Egypt and I met with His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi and a number of ministers and my dear friend, His Excellency the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdel Ati, as well as the Nuclear Power Plants Authority to follow up the developments in the Dhabaa nuclear reactor location, and we have discussed the workforce distribution, and I would like to reiterate 2 points that I pointed out earlier. First of all, my utmost appreciation to the Egyptian role to guarantee the peaceful use of nuclear power, and secondly, that the agency will always remain in the support of Egypt for long years. Once again, I would like to congratulate you on such a great achievement, and I wish you more success in this project and these endeavors. Sincere thanks to His Excellency Rafael Grossi, Director General of the NEAA, for his participation in this event. Directly from Moscow, his speech by His Excellency Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation. Your Excellency, Mr. President, dear friends, I am glad at the outset to welcome all participants in the special occasion of installing the reactor pressure vessel in the first nuclear unit in the nuclear Dhabaa power plant. Of course, the scenes and videos that we are seeing at the moment witness a lot of progress, and we are heading to a very important phase in the history of technology and the execution of the nuclear power plant project in Egypt. This is what the Egyptian economy requires most, as executing this project was a personal initiative launched by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. And I would like to join my friends to congratulate you and celebrate your birthday, as mentioned by my colleagues earlier. I would like to extend sincere thanks for the attention, the growing attention given to our efforts in supporting your national projects, as well as the diverse relations between our two countries. Of course, the Egyptian-Russian relations are based on agreement and respect. And these are the pillars of our mutual relations. I would like to remind you that the Soviet Union have participated in establishing several industrial projects in Egypt, and most of these projects, such as the Helwan factory for steel, as well as the High Dam and the Naga Hammadi factory, were all established by joint efforts. The partnership between our countries continues today, and it is reflected in increasing volume of bilateral trade. As well as we witness the Suez Canal Economic Zone development. The 4 nuclear units being established at the moment in the Dhabaa nuclear power plant will contribute to strengthening Egypt's energy security. This will add thousands of kilowatts to the Egyptian power reserve, and this will cover around 10% of the Egyptian needs for power. As you are aware, this is the largest company in the world working in the field of establishing nuclear plants. And this work is done according to a set fixed timelines. We are using the most modern solutions. There are 25,000 people working in this project, featuring a lot of Egyptian companies. A lot of workforce members are now being trained, and we are providing expertise to train Egyptian technicians who are going to operate the Dhabaa nuclear power plant after operation. Russia does not only help build the nuclear reactor, but also we are going to provide support for the life cycle of the reactor, including maintenance service and handling nuclear material, which will open new horizons for bilateral cooperation for 100 years. Russia is fully prepared to use the nuclear power in different peaceful fields. And once again, I would like to extend gratitude for the Russian and Egyptian workforce participating in the labors. So thank you so much for everyone. Without your efforts, we wouldn't have seen solutions to all the technical matters. Once again, I wish you success and luck, and I would like to congratulate you on Egypt's 5th annual Nuclear Energy Day, and special happy birthday to His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. I wish you success and best of luck. Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency President Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation. And now we will listen to a speech by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt. Your Excellency, Mr. President Vladimir Putin, President of the Friendly Russian Federation, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I am pleased to express my deep appreciation and esteem to His Excellency, the President of Russian Federation, my dear friend Vladimir Putin, for his participation in such historic event, in which we witnessed the installation of the reactor pressure vessel for the first nuclear unit, along with the signing of the nuclear fuel purchase order, an important milestone in the continued progress of the Dhabaa nuclear power plant project. I also extend my sincere thanks to His Excellency for his support of this strategic project and for his personal follow-up and commitment to ensuring success. I also express my gratitude to all the distinguished guests for their participation. Your Excellency President Putin, ladies and gentlemen, today we write a new and bright chapter in the nation's journey. Since mid-20th century, Egypt has had the nuclear dream, and now we see it come true, thanks to the hard work and determination. The relations between the Arab Republic of Egypt and Russia are long-standing strategic relations that span all fields and are built in mutual respect and shared understanding, regardless of regional or international challenges. This great event we celebrate today is an extension of the fruitful bilateral cooperation between our two countries through major projects that have left a clear imprint on the path of development and progress, from the construction of the High Dam in the 1960s to the national project of establishing the Dhabaa nuclear power plant. This monumental national edifice carries immense strategic value for Egypt and sends a clear message that we are moving steadily toward a more advanced and sustainable future, overcoming all challenges through genuine determination and tireless effort to reach this advanced stage of implementation. This is a practical proof that our partnership is not limited to statements and political statements, but they are embodied in real projects that translate into genuine development that directly benefit our two peoples. And with the ongoing crises in the field of energy and the rising cost of fossil fuels, the wisdom and importance of Egypt's strategic decision to revive the peaceful nuclear program as a national option that guarantees secure, sustainable, and clean sources of energy in support of Egypt's Vision 2030. This decision also reinforces Egypt's position as a regional energy hub and aligns with the comprehensive development goals. The Dhabaa nuclear power plant is a qualitative leap in localizing knowledge and opens new horizons for technology transfer and preparing a new generation of Egyptian experts in the field of nuclear energy and heavy industries. It also places Egypt in a leading position on the map of peaceful nuclear energy. The project will likewise provide thousands of direct and indirect job opportunities, contributing to development of prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I renew my gratitude to His Excellency President Vladimir Putin, and I also extend my sincere thanks to all those who contributed to implementing this project, experts, engineers, and workers from both in Egypt and Russia, for their dedication and tireless efforts to reach unprecedented rates of progress. I call on everyone to continue working with determination to complete the project in accordance with the highest international standards to strengthen Egypt's position among leading countries in the peaceful uses of nuclear power and supports its march toward a more advanced and sustainable future. Thank you, and peace be upon you. Thank you, Your Excellency, President Vladimir Putin, my dear friend. Sincere thanks and appreciation to His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt. When a vessel sails from the friendly Russia to the land of peace, Egypt, carrying a vital piece of equipment, it's a story that is worth of being narrated. We leave you now with this documentary on the RPV with its full stages.
Алексей Евгеньевич, оба завода готовы к отгрузке. Прошу дать разрешение начать транспортировку реакторов.
Начало движения разрешаю. В добрый путь.
مع اللحظة التاريخية
The long-awaited historic moment, the announcement of the beginning of the installation of the first nuclear reactor and launching the start queue. Now we call Mr. Sharif Hilmi, the Director General of the Nuclear Power Plants Authority, to give the start cue and deliver his speech. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most gracious, Your Excellency, Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Your Excellency, Mr. President Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, your esteemed presence, with the help of God and the sponsorship of both political leadership. And after the arrival of the reactor pressure vessel from Russia to Egypt, and in line with the Egypt's 5th annual Nuclear Energy Day, I am honored to announce for all of you with pride and appreciation, admiration, that we are fully prepared to install the reactor pressure vessel for the first nuclear unit in the Dhabaa nuclear power plant. And I would like to ask you, Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and President Vladimir Putin, to give the starting cue for installation. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most gracious, we start with the blessings of God. We start the installation of the RPV for the first nuclear unit. And now we can announce with utmost pride and appreciation the completion of the installation of the RPV for the first nuclear unit in line with the Egypt's 5th annual Nuclear Energy Day, a steady step towards accomplishing the nuclear dream of Egypt towards the new republic. I congratulate you. The dream is approaching. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Your Excellency, President Vladimir Putin.
على رعايتهما
for your participation in this historic event. We appreciate the efforts exerted by all the workers in the nuclear power plant and the Atom Destroy Export Company for all what they have provided of distinguished work and effort for this historic moment to come true. Thank you so much.
إنجاز جديد
A new milestone being written by Egyptian hands and close cooperation between Russia and Egypt steady steps towards a mega national project to strengthen the Egyptian position in the field of clean energy and diversify the energy sources and contribute to the sustainable development vision for Egypt's Vision 2030. Now we call His Excellency Mr. Sharif Hilmi, the Director General of the Nuclear Power Plants Authority, and Mr. Anthony Petrova, Head of Atom Destroy Exports, and the Director General of Rosatom to sign the nuclear fuel procurement order. And I call upon His Excellency Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli to attend the signing ceremony.
إن الإعلان عن بدء
Announcing the start.
بالطبع فإن الإعلان عن بدء
Of course, announcing the start of the fuel procurement order is not a routine procedure, but it's a new seal on a bright chapter in the record of the Egyptian-Russian cooperation. Now we call Dr. Mahmoud Asmed, Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy and the Director General of Rosatom to sign the comprehensive protocol for Russian-Egyptian cooperation between the Ministry of Electricity and Renewable Energy and Rosatom from Russia.
وفي لمحة تقدير واعتزاز لكل من أسهم بعطائه
All
وجهده.
of this have contributed to this national achievement in the field of energy. We call His Excellency Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli to honor some of the distinguished workers from both sides, Egyptian and Russian. Alexei Konyankov, Vice President of Atomistry Expert and the head of the Dhabaa nuclear power plant. Engineer Khalid Atiyah Ahmed Abdullah, head of the Nuclear Power Plants Authority. Mr. Olik Yakoviv, the head of construction in the Dhabaa nuclear power plant and from Atomistry. Engineer Hussam Ali Mahmoud Ali, the first Vice President of the Dhabaa nuclear power plant. Mr. Alexei Koftam, head of constructions and the first nuclear unit in the Dhabaa nuclear power plant. Engineer Jamal Hamdi Muhammad Hilmi, the Director General of the Arrangement Department in the Dhabaa nuclear power plant for electricity generation. Sincere thanks and gratitude for His Excellency Mustafa Madbouli, Prime Minister. With this commemoration, we say that the true power of Egypt lies in the dedication of its sons and partners. It is a beginning for a new march of accomplishments. Sincere thanks and gratitude for His Excellency Mr. Mustafa Madbouli, the Prime Minister, Your Excellencies, the ministers, the experts, the guests of Egypt, and the esteemed presence.
Dhabaa nuclear power plant. And also the event witnessed the signing of a nuclear fuel purchase agreement between Rosatom and the Egyptian side. It's a significant step, of course, which is added to the progress of completing the Dhabaa nuclear plant project. Also, the historic event today coincides with the 5th annual Egypt's Nuclear Energy Day on the 19th of November. Also the birthday of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi as the President of the Russian Federation. Had congratulated him as well for his birthday and wished him the great progress and continuous progress for the good and benefit of the Egyptian people. Of course, the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, he held a speech as he addressed the video conference, celebrating, of course, the deeply rooted Egyptian-Russian strategic ties, also marking that this is a new chapter for the bilateral ties between the two countries. Also, he highlighted the goal of the self-sufficiency of the electricity and a new chapter of the economic benefits and added value for this nuclear power plant of Dhabaa, which is, of course, a great step forward for the present time and for the future of Egypt, and the also focusing on job creation, scientific advancement, And this is long-term economic benefits from the, workforce and the local industries. It's a confidence in Egypt's future, positioning the Dhabaa as a symbol of progress, modernization, and of course forward-looking, future-oriented messages came out of the word of the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Of course, such a historic event in Egypt's history and in Egypt's present, also marking new chapter for our future, for meeting and covering the power, self-sufficiency, not only for the present time but for the next coming generations, also reducing the carbon emissions and producing the nuclear clean power and energy, which actually fully aligns and comply fully with Egypt's vision of 2030, and to support Egypt to contribute with like 42% of the renewable and clear energy by the year 2023.